I'm
I
two
could
and a half
just.
episodes in. I am 2.5 episodes in, and I'm already angry. This is Shayna,
And Kris.
and we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have Platinum Star Gay. Platinum Star Gay, which is a playful, joking reference within the queer community, especially among gay men, that describes a gay man who was born via C-section. It's an extension of like the gold star concept, which refers to a gay man who has never had sex with a woman or a lesbian who's never had sex with a man. So, a little deeper dive, the platinum part of Platinum Star Gay adds the layer of being born via C-section, suggesting a higher level of gay purity. Though it is all meant to be humorous. It's supposed to be a joke. They're not serious about this. So,
Like, calm down. It's okay.
yeah. It's very it's interesting and clever to be like, I've never even gone near it. Not even when I was born.
They said I'm
So
good.
yeah,
I'm good.
I never,
I'm
never
I'm
around it.
full.
Never
I'm
around
full.
vagina.
Thank you.
Never around
Thank you
it.
so much.
Not that close. Not that.
You
Mm-mm.
know, somebody should do a study to see the contrast of how many gay, like those who were born via
C-section.
C-section,
Hmm.
what their identities are.
That's funny. Oh God. Don't let RFK Jr. hear this. You might actually, if you did want funding for something, that might be something you put forth that they take seriously. Yeah. Yeah. They
Like, I
might
just want to
actually look
know.
into that. So
Just want to know. Curious.
it'd be interesting.
Curious. You
Yeah.
never know.
Platinum Star.
Anybody who's listening to this who's getting their PhD, have at it.
Can you imagine?
Report back.
That'd be crazy. You got people already scared of the medical field and vaccinations. Lord Jesus, this would throw some people into
Uh,
an absolute tizzy.
it really would. It really
Yeah.
would.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Hmm.
we'll see.
We'll see. Look, the study would be funded if you wanted to. If any administration would fund that, it would be this one.
Oh
So,
man.
mm,
Well, my core urban dictionary word of the week is fat rabbit.
mm. Speaking of vagina.
Okay. Fat rabbit. This definition simply means a slang term for vagina. Sometimes folks refer to this when a vagina has some big lips or has a big clit. Some also reference the pubic bone and it having a little bit of extra hair and a little bit of extra protrusion. So there's a lot of ways to move about this. My sentences, folks will use the phrase chasing the fat rabbit in regards to having sex with someone with a vagina, trying to get them in bed with you. Fat rabbit.
Okay. Well, speaking of vaginas, I have a special announcement that actually goes. We did not plan this, but this actually did work out. So, um, hmm, I and my wife are expecting our second child in September.
Toot, 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 toot,
Two
toot.
Virgos. Uh, Clearly we planned this. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not so much the Virgo part, but we are expecting a little girl in September. So we knocked it out of the hetero nuclear family park with the boy and a girl. It's the straightest things I've done. So we're excited. Shayna has known for a little while now. I was like, I gotta tell folks.
Yeah.
So here we are. Yeah, we're excited. Emery is excitement's not the word. I think he's in like preparation. He's already kind of the third parent already.
Mm,
So I feel like
not
that will
surprised.
carry on. Yeah.
Not surprised
Um,
here.
so yeah, we'll see. We're excited. This will be it. Just two.
You said we not being outnumbered. Not in this
No,
house.
this is gonna
I
be
was like,
this
between
is
the
gonna
two
be
plus
it.
Oakland, that is being outnumbered
Yeah.
already. So it's
And you know, Oakland already is on his like, I thought y'all niggas was gay. Like, I really did. Like, y'all should just have husbands. Like, my dog's homophobic, so him us having two children now, he's just like,
hmm
what y'all should have just got husbands.
like who said this is
Um,
fine?
yeah, he's like, what's up with y'all? So, yeah, but all seriousness, very excited. We will certainly have some episodes in store for the weeks that I am out with the newborn. But yeah, another baby bad queer is on the way.
Baby bad
A baby
queer.
bad queer.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
We love it. Now,
Yeah.
how much does Emery understand what's happening? Like fully sees Shalee's belly is like baby gets it.
Yeah. He does now that she's showing, and there's a lot of books out there. So we've gotten those, mommy pregnancy big brother books and everything. So he's excited about that. He's excited about like picking out toys for her and all that. Again, he's getting into the management of it all because he's like,
Right.
having a child is a big responsibility. So he's
Yeah, and
very full
I don't
aware of
think
the responsibility
I don't
of
think
him
he
being
thinks
this.
y'all are prepared. And
He
so
doesn't think
he
we're prepared
recognized
at
that
all.
he had to step in to
Yeah.
project manage this for y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is. So he's very serious about it.
Very hands-on.
Very hands-on. At first though, seriously, when we told him, he was just like, ooh, like he wasn't very thrilled. He was just like, okay, like why? Kind of like kind of
Am I
just
not
like,
enough? I thought
yeah,
we were
just kind
happy
of
here.
like, okay, yeah. I mean, I guess that's cool. But yeah, as soon as the belly started growing, and then also we have so many like obviously images and videos of him as a baby, like so
hmm
showing him as a baby and saying how he's a big boy now and everything, and gonna be a big brother, I think has gotten him more excited. Like these kids could see when they're his 3D, ultrasound images in his room. So from that to him being, project managing,
Mm,
I think he's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like I was this and now, he was actually trying to at one point get in Shalee's tummy, which was
right.
cute. Like, let me get back in there. I was like, I'm sorry,
He
son,
said, "Oh,
there's no going
this was
back.
still open for vacancy?
Yeah, I
Like,
was
let me
like,
just
nah, it's
sneak
one
back in
way.
here.
This is
Thanks so
it's
much."
one way. You can't go back. So, enjoy this time actually. It's a great metaphor. Like you enjoy this time because you can't go back. So yeah, we're excited. We're excited. It's definitely a different feel with the second kid around. I'll probably be
hmm
more relaxed. My butt will unclench during this time around. Yeah, it's different. It's definitely a more relaxed feel with things. Could
Yeah.
see why people do that with the second kid. She had more morning sickness this time around in the first trimester, but she's fine now. She's good now.
That's good.
So yeah, we were predicting through it because it was so different. I was like, "Ooh, it's a little girl. It's a little girl. It has to be." So and is so. We'll see. We're getting
Yes.
through names. There's terrible name suggestions from family members as
Naturally.
usual.
I was like,
But
which family member has requested the most that they be named?
her aunt, uh, and then my friends, they are so fixated on the weirdest names. Like they call Emery Maverick, and they're now calling
Just like out of
this
nowhere.
new baby Magic. And I was like, I'm just gonna stop. I know Dina's probably listening, who came up with this name. And I don't know what's going on with them. Like, why would my children be named Maverick and Magic? But to my college friends, those are the names. So, you know,
They said it's cool. It's nice that y'all have your little names, but we've agreed
right.
collectively over here.
Maverick and Magic. I don't know where it came from, but
You gotta have a little M&M in your life. That's just
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, excited. This it's gonna be cool. I'm excited to be both a boy mom and a girl mom. So, yeah, that's
look
what's
at
up.
that. Congrats,
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank
So
you, thank
excited
you.
for you. So excited. But yes, as
Yeah.
Kris said, we'll have some episodes in the bank while Kris is off getting to get all the cuddles and all the throw up.
Yeah, let's not
Great.
let's not hope
It's
that.
I'm just
let's
I mean,
let's
it's
hope
just a
that doesn't
fact.
happen.
I feel like it's just a fact.
Not always. There wasn't Emery didn't really spit up and all that. So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
but
see.
see,
Every kid's are different.
being the second baby, I just feel like
It's gonna be more for sure.
just more.
It's gonna just be more. It's just gonna be more something.
Gonna
So
be more.
yeah, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Uh,
So yeah,
too good. All right. Well,
yeah.
now that we've gotten our exciting news in, let's go ahead and jump into our category is. Our first category is SCOTUS allows for trans discrimination in medical care.
Yeah. It's about
Hose.
what we thought with the
That is what we thought.
US versus Scrimeti or Tennessee. Is it Tennessee versus Scrimeti? Whatever. Well, the case we've been talking
The
about.
Scrimeti case. Yeah, that's how I remember. It's Scrimeti
Yeah,
case.
Scrimeti is all I remember with it. But in a 6-3 decision, the court ruled that the Tennessee's law prohibiting gender-affirming medical care, such as puberty blockers and hormone therapy for transgender youth, does not violate the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. The ruling sets a precedent for similar bans nationwide. It allows for similar laws in at least 25 other states to remain in effect, impacting access to gender affirming care for minors across the country. And this will affect about 40% of the transgender youth in the US. The court applied a rational basis standard, not a heightened scrutiny. So, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote that the law does not discriminate on the basis of sex
Mm-hmm.
and that states have a rational basis for restricting these treatments, citing
Mm-hmm.
ongoing debates about among medical professionals about the risk and benefits. I did see somewhere that they used a lot of what the New York Times wrote in this in the opinion that just John Roberts gave. So,
Really?
New York Times, those articles. The ruling does not address all possible legal challenges. While the court rejected the argument that these bans are sex discrimination under the Equal Protection Clause, it did not rule on whether such bans violate parental rights to make medical decisions for their children, a potential avenue for future challenges. So, this decision leaves a patchwork of access and ongoing legal battles. This is not over, but unfortunately, this decision was expected given the conservative majority in the courts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is also this layered part about the patchwork is also probably exactly what they wanted because it's
Mm-hmm.
leaving it messier than before so they can slide through with certain wins
Yeah.
rather than having it be a blanket yes or no. That means they are able to play around with what the law does, which I think is even more dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But and then there's more stuff that came down today. Today, as we record, is actually the 10-year anniversary of marriage equality. So we
Mm-hmm.
have what a difference 10 years makes. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Mm.
And the fact that we're back and it's in danger again.
Yep. Yep. You know, think of all the things they said would happen to society when marriage equality was the law of the land that didn't happen. And the same, like, hysterical arguments not based in any fact or science or anything by actual medical professionals, not whatever New York Times sourced. It's just very interesting because at least 10 years ago, people were a little bit more rational. Now, this has turned into like sports. Everybody's just
Mm,
playing on their team. Like it's just you ride with your team, like even when
yep.
they're wrong. So
Yeah. It's like diehard sports
die hard, yeah,
fans who
like
won't.
violent sports.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hmm. Well, we'll keep fighting. That's all we could do. So, thoughts
Yes.
and prayers to everybody affected by this, and yeah, we'll keep fighting.
Yes, we will. All right. In lighter news, season 2 of the Queer Ultimatum is back.
Ooh.
The season has dropped as of yesterday for this recording. And just so you all know, instead of taking all of the time here to talk about it, we are going to do special recap episodes to go along with the releases of the episodes. So we'll cover the full season and we will cover the reunion with all our usual commentary, chaos. It's probably going to be higher levels of chaos and questions. So we are going to post those separately from the podcast. You'll be able to see them on our YouTube and our Patreon. So if you're watching along, come hang out with us. Let's process it all together.
Hmm.
Keep an eye out on those notifications. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube or joined our Patreon, please do so you can hear all of this unfiltered stuff because, baby,
You've already
Okay.
seen some episodes, so
I'm
I
two
could
and a half
just.
episodes in. I am 2.5 episodes in and I'm already angry.
I bet
I
we
have
were talking about the clip the other day of going around. They were discussing like some hypotheticals about like celebrity crushes, and the tension
hmm
in the room was crazy. And it was just like if they are mad off of this conversation, which is for anybody a weird conversation to get bent out of shape
right.
about your partner, your person. I was like, then it's just gonna be some mess this season. Like it just
It's just
is.
gonna
Like
escalate. Just
like
gonna
why are you
escalate.
getting
And it
mad
has.
because your partner is like, yeah, I let Rihanna hit, or whatever, where it's
Right.
just like somebody that's not attainable at all. Like, I
Yep.
don't know, but
All I have to say
yeah.
is the studs, y'all are on watch. The studs and the butches on the show, y'all are on watch. Cause my God. It was after I saw the countdown, there was a video from a Los Angeles queer influencer. And she had done the countdown for who was gonna be the most interesting and least interesting couple of the season.
Hmm.
And I was sitting there, I was watching, I was like, oh, I didn't think that some of these couples would be in the top three or the top five for what it was. And now I see. I'm 2.5
That's so
episodes in, and
funny.
I'm like,
Mm,
correct. I
she's
may have
right.
even switched a couple, but
She was right.
good,
Mm,
good job. But there's a couple that I'd be like, move them up one. And it was
mm,
the unexpected ones. I was just like, wow, wow, wow. Look at
mm.
that. But the studs and the butches on the show.
Yeah, I saw the velvet durag and I was like, oh no.
Okay.
Just got a little uneasy. Like,
Okay.
what's this commentary about to be? Um,
Mm-mm.
The disclaimer with all this that we'll say this season is that we don't know these people. So our commentary and everything is just all opinion, little fun
Off of
bullshit.
a show.
We don't
Just
know
fun
these
bullshit.
people, but
Because we deserve to have fun bullshit
we
that
do.
we get to talk about. If y'all been watching
However,
all this Love Island nonsense to do the things, we could sit and have a little of this too.
yeah, yeah.
Don't worry, we'll
The
get into it.
however
We'll
to
get
this is
into it.
like we're still going to talk about it and critique it. We
Yeah,
don't know these people at all.
don't know these
We don't,
people.
we don't,
We
don't
might
know
meet
them
them
at
in the
all.
future. Who
Maybe.
knows?
Who knows?
But for right now,
Yeah. But we are going to critique.
yeah,
So, you
that's what's gonna happen.
know. Yes.
Asterisks for you. So yeah, so tune into us, YouTube, Patreon, and we'll get those out. All right, our final category is because there's so much happening here. We got to talk about all of it because, of course, we're
Goodness.
talking about sports and all of the things that are happening. First of all,
It's a lot.
the WNBA. It's like they've leveled, it's like season two of a show that has leveled up as we talk about season two. But it's like, how does the WNBA every year just get more and more interesting? I love it here.
The players.
The players are great.
The
I was
players.
like, from the stud buds.
I was just about to say what they do off the court is just as
It's
exciting of like,
iconic.
the stud
Iconic.
buds.
Stud buds.
Does Marina and them did they name
I don't think
their
they've given
lives
themselves a
anything?
name,
Okay,
but
they are so
Marina and
entertaining.
Sanaya, they
Yeah.
are hilarious,
Yeah.
having all sorts of conversations and ridiculousness, and we love to see it. All of the speculation around Paige and AZ Fudd, and then AZ
Hmm.
trolling and posting the photo of her holding her phone up with a sticker that says Paige Becker's girlfriend. Like,
It's really good. It's
Dewana
really good
Bonner.
stuff. Dewana. Dewana. My cousin texted me this morning and just going through it. I was like, well, I was like, you don't want to know what I think this is. She's like, yes, you do. So what we'll start with, because
Yes.
we're in week 5, we'll start with power rankings. We both went
All
to
right.
WNBA games. You went to Chicago Sky game the other night.
Oh,
What'd you
and it was great. Oh my God. I was so mad at them for 3.5 quarters. And then we got it together. We were sitting there, my friends and I are texting. We're over here just yelling. Who did we beat? Who did we just play? What game did I go to?
Who did y'all just play?
Who did we just play? That's crazy that I'm blanking out on that. It was 2 days
No,
ago.
you're like, it's getting old.
It is 2 days ago. We played the Sparks. There we go.
Okay.
That's who we played. It was a great game. No, it wasn't. We played terribly for the first.
No, it wasn't.
We played terribly for like the first 3 quarters. And I was just like, then we started closing that gap, closing. Literally, they came out and I think we scored like 4 points and they had 17 in like the first 2 minutes.
Mm.
I said, "Ooh." My friend looks at me and she's like, "Well, it's just the first quarter." I was like, "Get out, get out, get out." We
Yeah.
continued. They were down by like 20 at some point. They were able to close it. I was like, all we need to do is take the lead one time. Just take the lead one time. And then we finally did. And then we finished off strong. And I think we won by like 10 points.
Yeah, that's proud of y'all. We
So proud
all.
of us. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, I go into the Valkyries Liberty game last night. Shout out to a fan, a listener, a supporter reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to go to this game tomorrow. Would you like to go?" My God, yes. I would like to go to this game. So shout out to Levon for the tickets. And they were
Whew.
incredible seats. And whoo, the atmosphere for the Valkyries games is just unmatched. They sell out their home games where
Mm-hmm.
they just put the valuation of all of the WNBA teams, and the Valkyries are at the top at like 500 million because the real estate, first off, the Chase Center is like
So
super
good.
nice. It's so
So good.
nice. And yeah, just also being connected to the Warriors. But they've already won more games than any expansion team before. They are really good. It was a very close game. You know, the
It's
Liberty
such
has
a good
Stewie.
game.
Such a good game. The
Such a
Liberty
good
has
game.
closers, and they are the defending champions, so they know how to close it out because it was mostly a defensive game. And that's the only thing that the Valkyries are missing. I mean, they have some people. We were texting earlier about this. You reminded with the, a couple of players that went to play in the Euro basketball cup. Is there a cup going on? There's something important going
Yeah.
on over
It's,
there.
it's a tournament over there. Yep.
Yeah. So they're missing some people, but you could tell at the end they didn't know who should close it out because it was so close. Kate Martin was hitting these threes just on the money, but
Like it was nothing.
like it was nothing. There was that one kind of desperation one she put up, and it's just like, oh my God. Like I was like, are we gonna do this? But you could tell at the end, like they didn't know who should be the closer.
Mm-hmm.
So they're so close. They are, I would say, like a player or so away. Um, but already good, great coaching, great defense, all of the things.
Yep.
So it was a good game. And shout out to
That
Levon
was.
again for the tickets. So,
We love our
and shout out to
listeners.
Valkyries and all the gays because it's
All,
just like, we talked
all the
about this
gays.
before this happened years ago. Like the Bay deserved a WNBA team 10 years ago. But like now that we
Mm-hmm.
have it, it's just like, the
I
crowd
love
is
that
amazing. The fan
everybody
is amazing.
is making sure that like, oh, this isn't going to go anywhere. Not going
Oh
anywhere.
no,
Nope.
huge, huge. So, yeah, great. So let's talk about power rankings just going through week 5. This is the WNBA power rankings currently. So no surprise, the Minnesota Lynx, they're 12-1. Ooh, they are. I'm like, damn, I don't, I don't know if
Right.
anybody's,
They
got them. Of
said
course,
they said
anything
don't
could change,
y'all
but
play with us
don't play with
because
us
they're not having what happened last year happen this year.
at all. They're coming for it all. They said they're
Mm-hmm.
coming for it all. Number 2 is the Phoenix Mercury, who have bounced back in a big way, and now they're at full strength. Kalia Copper is back. New York Liberty is in the 3rd spot. We have Atlanta Dream, which it was a surprise for me, maybe not for you, but they're having a wonderful season.
Oh
So they're
yeah,
at the
no. Once
4th
Jordan
spot.
Canada came back, I was like,
They're good.
we are set. And Pow Pow is the
Woo,
top three
great.
point shooter, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, or
Yeah.
one of the
I mean,
top, if not
she's
at least amongst the
right. She's
rookies.
up there. She's up
But
there.
she's
Yeah.
she's in there for like her percentage of what she's doing outside of the 3 point line. And I'm like, Pow Pow is also giving me some big points in fantasy. And I said, thank you, girl.
Mm.
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Those
doing it.
South Carolina players in the WNBA, I tell you what,
They come in ready to go.
they come in ready to go.
Ready to
That's
go.
why somebody gonna steal Dawn. I'm telling you. The 5 spot Seattle Storm. 6 is Golden State Valkyries. 7, Las Vegas Aces. My
We
Aces.
knew it was gonna happen. We
I know, but
we
this is
knew.
such a drop off. I mean, you still got some time, obviously, in the season, but I was just like, ooh, okay. Number 8, Indiana Fever. 9 is Washington Mystics. 10, the LA Sparks. 11 is Dallas Wings. 12, Chicago Sky. And last but not least, Connecticut Sun. So, yeah, that's where we are with things.
Mm-hmm.
Some surprises early to some people.
Yep.
But it's going to be, we'll see what happens as the season progresses. And obviously, the playoffs in September will be great, or October. It's in the fall. So
Like around that time,
yeah.
all the
So
things.
DeWanna Bonner.
Tawana Bonner. Let's talk about
DeWanna
her.
Bonner. Whew.
So the Indiana Fever, even though the Indiana Fever are trying to like PR this, like, oh no,
Yeah.
like we
And she's
waived
on
her,
my
but
fantasy team. So for weeks
yeah.
I've been like, what personal
What do you
reasons?
mean? What personal
Yeah.
reasons?
Like,
So yeah,
and I
so
know there's some.
for the last few weeks, Dewana Bonner's been out for personal reasons. And then all of a sudden it started popping all over social media that Dewana Bonner did not want to go back to the Fever. And then the Indiana Fever announced that they waived Dewana Bonner after failing to find a suitable trade partner for her.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
So she has not appeared in a game for the Fever since June 10th and hasn't been around the team since June 12th. And Ari McDonald had come over on like a temporary restriction. They usually do like the hardship contracts and things. So she had come over for that, appeared in 3 games, averaged 11 points while on hardship waiver for the Fever, and brought her back and got her signed. So Bonner made a statement that said, I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out. And I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young players. She stated, well, unofficially stated, that her preferred landing spots were with the Phoenix Mercury or the Atlanta Dream. And we still have yet to find out if she is going to either of those places.
I was laughing at the statement you read and then the IG statement she put out, which was a quitter. Nah, never
Never,
been
nah.
that. But when the time comes, let's just make sure the apologies are just as loud as the disrespect, which they've been very disrespectful to her, and not knowing what's going on. So we don't know shit. But
Nope.
what is your take? What do you think went wrong?
You know,
Good start.
you know,
Uh,
I said, well, I was actually surprised because I was like, well, you and your wife knew that you were going to separate.
mhm.
You see that your wife is out here thriving on a
Good
great
time in
team,
Phoenix.
living her best life. And something tells me she looked out at that and was like, hey, why are you having so much fun over there? What's going on down there?
Hmm.
I need to know. I need to know.
Do I want
Uh,
to be in
do
Indianapolis?
I do I really want to be out here?
Yeah.
Also, there's going to be talk of whether or not the fan base was really in alignment
Hmm.
with what Duana was after. I would think that it would be though, because I would feel like the Connecticut Sun and the Fever have
Yeah.
like a similar fan base,
Yeah.
just without the star power of having Caitlin Clark on the
Yeah.
team.
Mhm.
I can only
Familiarity
imagine
with
that.
coach.
Yeah, yes,
Oh.
also familiarity with coach. I could only imagine something like the inner demon in me wants to say that Sophie Cunningham did some shit.
Which isn't,
Okay, like that's I'm not even like I
might.
feel like a lot of people are gonna be like Caitlin, Caitlin, Caitlin. I was like Caitlin, from everything that we heard from the outside, had a lot of love and respect for Duana, and that's what it
Hmm.
was. But something tells me it's Sophie.
You
She
think it's
is the one.
Sophie?
She is the
Yeah.
one.
I do think it was environment. It was funny. My cousin was like, don't say environment. And I was like, okay, her experience, her experience on the team. I was like, I'm not going to put this at Caitlin Clark's feet. I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not going to put it at her feet. However,
Is it in the room?
it's in the room.
Okay.
It's in the room because I don't know. Like you said, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's Caitlyn per se, but I think it's huge that these temper tantrums that she throws on the court when she doesn't get the ball. I think that, I think not hearing so much of, and I hate to compare the two, but whatever. Like, and maybe I'm missing this, but people talk about Paige so glowingly, so lovingly as a teammate. Don't hear that too much about Caitlyn, and maybe I've
Hmm.
missed some things. Um, I can see the combination of her being petulant, Caitlyn being petulant, and that being part of her game, and Dewana being a future Hall of Famer, an OG in the
Hmm.
league, maybe trying to correct that and not feeling like she's as backed up by the front office.
Hmm.
I would think Stephanie White probably backs her up. I won't say the coaching staff, but maybe she thinks she's in a situation where it's like this experience could get very toxic. Not the environment, the experience can be very toxic because that's not even taking the dark Indiana fan into account. Um, but it has to be personality because this is a team that is gonna contend. So she's not on a loser team.
Hmm.
So it has to be not environment, but her experiences. It has to be something because for this
Said
to
it's definitely
happen, like,
plural.
and she's not, this isn't Dewana Bonner hasn't done anything like this before. I mean, she's 37, so this season or the next, or I don't know how long she'll want to play, but not that many seasons ahead of her. So she's very intentional about like being on a contender. And again, the Fever are a contender this year, especially with her.
Hmm.
Um, so something had to go very wrong,
Yes.
personality or experience wise, to do this. And so early,
Hmm.
so we're not even halfway through the season. She's like, mm-mm. Nope,
She's like, guess
no,
what?
no,
Guess what
no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
gonna do is waste my time
This.
in a space that is not going to appreciate me to the fullest
Yeah.
and or be around people that she does not appreciate as well. It's
Yeah.
prime thing that we love to see of
Yeah.
us removing ourselves from those spaces. And I'm happy
Hmm.
about it. I also know that it was fully that because after doing the corporate response and her actual response, I said, oh, somebody got her fucked up. And I
Yeah.
love that. I love it
Yeah.
here. Her
And I
PR
also
agent,
don't think it's like she being
oh,
mad she's not starting because that's another
yeah,
thing
no.
being floated. Like she can't take her role as not being a star. I was like, no, it does. I mean, I don't, you never know, but she doesn't strike me as somebody who would be so upset she's not starting. So the experience was not great for her on this team is very clear. So hmm, we'll find out. We'll find out one day. We'll find out what happened here. So, hmm, all right.
Okay, what else we have? Let's talk about the group of women athletes who filed an appeal of House versus NCAA settlement approval. And we
Yeah.
want
So
to be
this is
sure that
all
folks
the
are aware.
NIL stuff, which is name, image, and likeness. That in the last couple years, college athletes have been able to monetize their images and likeness and everything in ways that they weren't able to do before. But this particular case, the House versus the NCAA settlement approval, was for back pay, back revenue, which is in the billions that older players are supposed to, former players, college athletes are supposed to get.
Hmm.
But a group of female college athletes are appealing the $2.8 billion settlement, arguing it was unfair. It unfairly favors male athletes and shortchanges women athletes by 1.1 billion. So this is something the anti-trans
Jesus.
athlete activists should be talking about.
Hmm.
Uh, the challenge targets how back damages are allocated, claiming that the formula ignores Title IX and gives over 90% of the funds to male athletes.
Mm-mm-mm.
So Judge Wilkin approved the deal, stating that it's an antitrust, not gender equity case. So
Fuck you,
equal
bro.
distribution. I know. So
Like what?
equal distribution by gender isn't required. Um, for now, since this challenge was filed, the back pay is paused during the appeal, but athletes can pursue separate Title IX lawsuits in the future. So we'll see what happens here. But I mean, it's a lot of money to not get, based on gender too. They're like,
Like 1.1 billion?
basketball and football did this. 1.1 billion.
I was like,
Billion with a
sir,
B. So
sir, what?
yeah.
Wow. And he said
Yeah.
that with his whole chest too, and I know it.
Yeah, you did. He was
Mm-mm-mm.
like, nobody was watching y'all, or he probably said some shit. Nah, for real. But these are the things that really actually help female athletes, women athletes, and doesn't get the same shine because people want to bully high school trans athletes. So
Yep.
I
It's
mean,
just a distraction.
1.1 billion,
Billion.
billion. So
My
mm,
gosh. It's like ever since watching those videos on like Instagram and stuff that show you what a million and what a billion look like and how big of a difference that is.
It's
It's
huge.
like, y'all gotta, come on, be better.
Yeah.
Be better. Talking about being better.
Hmm.
Well, at least in Spain, they did something right. So Spain court upholds Rubiales' conviction in sexual assault case. So if you all remember from the 2023 World Cup when Rubiales kissed unsolicitedly kissed the captain of the Spain national team, Jenny Hermoso, at the 2023 World Cup in Sydney. The court has upheld a verdict that found him guilty of sexual assault for the unsolicited kiss. The court rejected multiple appeals against the conviction, reaffirming Rubiales kissed Hermoso without her consent during the medal ceremony after Spain's women had won the trophy. Rubiales was
Yeah, it's crazy.
fined over 10,000 euros, which is about 11,592 American dollars, and acquitted of coercion charges alongside three co-defendants. The prosecutors had sought a 2.5 year prison sentence and called for a retrial, but both of those were dismissed.
Shout out to those prosecutors. They were like, no, he needs to go to prison. I love it.
They said, lock his lips up.
Lock
Lock him up.
lock his lips up. But I'm glad that this, he was fine. I mean, it went through, this would so
Never.
good to see this happen because he was wild for this. Like, of course, I remember this story, and just recounting this story, and it's just like so appalling that he just thought he could just kiss her on the lips, and in
I
her
don't care how
biggest moment
excited
of
you
her
were.
life. Like,
Right.
can you
He's all like, it
imagine?
was just based off the excitement and whatever. I don't care how excited you are. That doesn't cause you to
Yeah,
have to do that. No.
yeah. And again, imagine what else he's done not on camera in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, no. So, hmm. Shout out
Mm-mm.
to Spain for that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I hope that whole fine goes into Jenny's pocket.
I know, right? Who does it go to? The fines are always interesting to me, just in general with these government fines, like for us too, because it'd be like such and such was fined $1 billion. It's like, where does it go? Like,
You
I
know where
mean,
it
I know it
goes.
goes to the government, but like who?
They're
Because it's
just
not
like,
like it ever goes to the victims of any of these things. So,
there's a
hmm,
documentary out there somewhere that's like the hidden treasures
yeah,
behind your fines.
yeah. I would imagine it's like the lottery. You know how like if you
And
win the
why it goes up
lottery, the
each time.
government's like, "Yay, we won!" Like the same thing with that. Like if they get a large settlement, like they sue a company,
Yeah.
and get billions, they're like, "Yay, we won!" Like it doesn't go like sometimes the victims. So very interesting. It's going to somebody. So
Some somebody.
somebody. So all right. Well, that was category is. We're gonna move on to our advice segment. Am I bad queer? Where we get real about your questions and dilemmas. Got something on your mind? Don't keep it to yourself. Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com. All right, this first one, little lengthy. Who's this from? This is Anon. What's a good Anon name? Uh, Amy? It's not good. It's just what came up. So we'll go with that.
That's fine.
Uh, Amy asked, is Amy still popular? I don't hear about
I don't think
Amy's
it is.
anymore. I don't think it
I
is
don't think it
anymore.
is.
Yeah. All right. Well, shout out to the Amy's if y'all are watching. The last of a dying breed, I guess. Hey y'all. Am I a bad queer for ending a situationship with someone everyone else seemed to love, but who didn't actually treat me with consistency or care? The two C's.
Mm-hmm.
From the outside, they were the full queer package, charming, creative, always showing up to community events, and somehow always surrounded by people who spoke about them like they were the greatest thing to happen to queer dating. And at first, I got swept up in it too. They said all the right things, shared my values, and made me feel seen when they showed up. But that was a problem. They didn't really show up, not in a consistent, meaningful way. They were emotionally inconsistent, vague about what they wanted, and seemed just a little too busy or distracted to actually invest anything real. Every time I tried to bring up how I was feeling, I got just enough reassurance to stick around, but not enough change to feel secure. Eventually, I decided to walk away. I didn't want to make a big thing of it, but choosing myself over the idea of them felt like the healthiest decision I could make. Still, I feel this lingering guilt because they're still beloved in our community, still getting hyped up on timelines, still showing up to all the right places with all the right people. So am I a bad queer for ending it when nothing was technically wrong, but everything felt off? For not being able to reconcile who they are to everyone else with how they actually made me feel. That was Anon. Amy. Oh, Amy was like dating the mayor, the mayor of whatever.
Amy was dating the
Yeah, you
mayor.
know the
That's
mayor.
the
There's always a
perfect way to
mayor.
put it. There's always a queer
There's
mayor.
always a queer mayor. Oh, that's tough.
Mm.
It's tough dating someone that everybody loves and adores and all that. But I mean, everything you laid out was very clear that great person, not great for me. And that's
Yeah.
really it. Like, there's no, hey, there was nothing technically wrong, but there was things technically wrong because they weren't showing you the consistency and care you were looking for. And you did try to bring that up to them. So, and it didn't work out. And sometimes these things don't work out. And sometimes when you're like the mayor like that or somebody very popular, I feel like they get stymied or stunted with doing the work because people are always singing their praises and maybe they drink their own Kool-Aid a little bit. They're like,
Mm.
I mean, you think this, but my fans, my constituents love me. So, no, you're not a bad queer for this. You did what's right for you, and it sounds like this is the right thing to do. And it sounds like the mayor has some work to do. Um, can't just be out there kissing babies and what else, going to all the brunches and being in the right spots. So, and maybe that person's not ready for an actual relationship or knows what it takes to be in a serious relationship. So, all that is not your problem. There's nothing wrong with breaking up with the mayor. I'm glad it seems like y'all are on good terms. So, I wouldn't feel bad about it. And I would reframe the thinking of it that it wasn't like there wasn't anything technically wrong. There were things that were really wrong. Like not even technical. It was absolutely wrong. So you made a good decision.
Honestly, it is hard when you feel like you're being a little bit gaslit by the community. But
Yeah.
it's like they're not dating them, they're hanging out with them in very social settings. So for them, if you're getting any feedback from these external people that when you share your experience and they're just like, no, how could that be possible? And it's like, yeah, because you, like Kris said, you're dating the mayor. The mayor has to look good on the outside. You don't know what's
Mhm.
happening with the mayor at home or what that looks like. You were very clear in everything that you wrote into. So for you to say that nothing was technically wrong, no, you listed the things that were wrong for you. And that's okay because you know what you're looking for and you feel like you have to reconcile. You don't have to reconcile just because they're a good person. Like Kris said, they could be a good person in general, but not a good person for you. And each of the things that you listed were not anything that were huge red flags. It's a good behavior to notice what they're not doing before it gets really bad. I feel like we, as a queer community, because we've all experienced some sort of trauma, that we have to get to such an extreme version of people before we break it off with them. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you saw the habits that don't align with you or your values, and you said, well, I'm done here. And kudos to you for doing that because we don't have to go into the extreme form of whatever emotion to then say, okay, now that's why I broke up with them. Because just think if you had gotten in there and this person ended up being crazy or aggressive or anything like that, people would have not believed you even more because they'd be like, look
Hmm.
at this amazing human. And instead, you're just like, we just didn't work out. We didn't have the same values and weren't aligned on that. And that's okay.
Hmm.
So you don't have to, everything felt off. It's not going to feel right. So glad that you made that decision for yourself.
Hmm. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Honestly, there's plenty of fish in the sea now because it's Pride season. So great
Hmm.
timing. Great timing.
Yep.
All right. Our next one is also anonymous. So I just called this one Blaze.
Hmm.
So
Blaze
Blaze
is.
writes in,
I was like, Blaze was absolutely a name suggested by friends. These action figures.
I love that. I hope they told you to spell it with an S instead of a Z and then
Mm-mm. I would
go
have
with
been like
that.
blase. So not gonna name my baby blase. Blaze or blase, whatever you want to do. So
You would need to name it like Blase
I want to do
Johnson
that.
as like her middle
Right.
name.
I don't need to that's like that's like setting your kid up, but also just like I don't need to give them fodder for the therapy
Yeah. No,
later on
these
in
are things
life.
that like you really have to think about. You're like,
You
this is gonna be their
do.
name forever.
You
And I
do.
get what are ways that kids will make fun of you? We have to be aware.
Yeah. Yeah. You really do.
You really do. And
You
then you're like,
do.
oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, well, that's so funny. Well, Blaze writes in and says, am I a bad queer for wanting to explore being verse, but not knowing how to bring it up to my partner who only sees me as a top? Here's the thing. When we first started dating, I think I leaned into a more dominant top energy, partly because that's what felt natural at the time, and partly because that's what my partner seemed to want. And now it's kind of solidified. I'm the top, period. That's how they refer to me to their friends. That's how we have sex. That's the role I've come to play in our relationship. But lately, I've been feeling a strong urge to switch things up, to explore what it would feel like to be on the receiving end, to let go of control, to tap into a softness or vulnerability that I haven't given myself permission to express sexually. It's not that I don't enjoy topping, I do, but it's starting to feel one sided. I feel like I've been put on a shelf, labeled dominant mass top, and expected to stay there. I'm scared that if I bring this up, it'll change how my partner sees me. What if they're turned off by it? What if they think I'm not the person they signed up for? What
Mm.
if this somehow shifts the balance in our relationship and makes things weird? We have a solid dynamic outside the bedroom. We communicate well. We support each other, but sex hasn't really been a two-way street. And I'm starting to realize I want more. I'm also dealing with some internalized stuff around what it means to be mass presenting queer person and how that shows up in bed. Like, do I even know how to ask for what I want without feeling embarrassed? So,
Mm.
am I a bad queer for wanting to switch it up or for not knowing how to say it out loud with disrupting everything we've built?
Mm. Or blase.
Blase Johnson. Blase
Blase.
Johnson.
Uh,
Man,
mm.
Blase, I want you to know that as I was reading through this, the first thought that came to my head was that's your anxiety talking.
Mm.
Anxiety is telling you a story of what could possibly happen and all the worst case scenarios that could happen if you spoke up simply to say, hey, babe, let's spice it up. Why don't you top me? And go from there and just see what she says. It's not going to be you tell her and then she's going to be like, verse? You want to, what does that mean? And throws everything around like that is
Not in this
not,
house.
we don't have verses in this house. This is a gender roles house.
Right. Top, bottom.
That's
Nothing
it.
in between.
We don't have any of that. We established that from the beginning.
Right.
Like that's the worst that could happen. If that happened, then like you should just exit stage left and be like, okay, bye. No, I think the way that you do this, it sounds like what you said, you all have great communication and you have great support. I think you saying exactly what you said to us, to your partner, to say, hey, I really do want to push outside the bounds. I feel like I've been limited sexually. I really want to explore more with you. I think that's showing a level of comfort and trust and vulnerability that you want to show with your partner. And I think you could take those three words and go and sit down with your partner and say, hey, the more that we've gotten into this, the more I've really enjoyed it. I really trust you. I really have fun with you. I really love when we get in the bedroom. I really want to continue to explore more of the things that we can do in the bedroom moving forward. Would you be open to trying XYZ thing? And see how it goes and talk through it. That could lead to your next hottest session. Your anxiety is just stopping you from having your next potentially hottest session. So don't let them do that. And have a cute little sit down conversation ahead of time. Don't do this in the middle of sex. Like, don't top it and then be like, hey, babe, what if we just switch it up? Don't do that.
Yeah. Not
Have
a
a
good time.
separate conversation where you sit down and you all get to chat, talk about concerns and things, share your other stuff, and then if it works from there, then go in the bedroom. But don't do it during sex.
Yeah. Yeah. Blase, you
Blase
you just
Johnson.
blase, all you have to do is share your wants and desires and ideas for how you want to explore um sexually with your partner and just see how they react. If it is on the other side and it is a just a hard no, like no consideration, then that will tell you a lot about that person and that you probably don't want to continue with that person. And even
Mm-hmm.
it depends on how they do it too, because maybe in the moment they're just like, fuck no. And like it is a hard no, but they might think about it and they're like, actually, you know. But see how the reaction goes for it. I mean, you got to advocate for yourself because sex is important in a lot of relationships, and um you deserve to have good sex and the pleasures that you want. And hey, topping isn't easy as well. So it's
Hopping is
good to,
not
you
easy.
know, it's okay to want to switch it up. It's okay to want to explore um those things in the bedroom. But yeah, see what your partner says and everything. I don't that this shouldn't mess things up. Your partner might be very excited to hear this and just been like, I used to pray for times like this. Okay. Like
Hmm.
dreams and nightmares, like just so happy that you're like, yes. So just see how your partner reacts and y'all just talk about it again, even if the initial session is really a challenging conversation, they might come around to it and but yeah, advocate for yourself everywhere, but especially the bedroom. So
Yes.
especially if you see yourself with this person long term, then yeah, like there will have to be adjustments made. So
Yep.
yeah,
Do it to it.
hope that helps.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Blase Jones.
Blase. Thanks, Blase Jones. Jones or
Like,
Johnson?
I
Because
like,
both
I
of
don't
them
know.
are.
I had to try them out. I had to try out the
Blase
Blase
Jones is
Johnson.
kind of cool too. That's
Blase
very
Jones kind
black
of
as
gives a
well.
vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It's
It's
very
like I know I
jazzy.
started with Johnson, but
Yeah,
then I was just like, but Blase
yeah.
Jones.
Yeah, Blase Johnson it has a very good corporate job, probably like a corporate lawyer.
Yes. Maybe she's in
Blase,
finance.
maybe in finance.
Yep.
Blase Jones is just a open mic
Yes.
staple. Like
Paints
people
murals.
paints murals, a
Yep.
Renaissance person. Just,
Mm.
I mean, out there living a very full life. Dare I say, maybe a mayor, a queer mayor.
Ooh.
Um, but so we just made all that up in our
Yep.
for Blase.
Thank you.
Jones or Johnson. That's it for Am I a Bad Queer? Just two lengthy ones this week. Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com.
All right. What type of bad queers would we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? I have to allow Kris to go first on this one because mine just supplements hers in what we
Yeah.
were discussing earlier. But Kris, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I saw Mal from season one of Ultimatum had put out a great video and just echoing what I said earlier is that we don't know these people for real and we just need to keep that very front and center for
Hmm.
whatever we do. But also, this has really been bothering me, so I want to ask you about this.
Okay.
Like, should I be watching Love Island? I feel so left out. I feel so left
Not
out.
the
And
FOMO. That's what I was going to
but
ask.
it's also like a FOMO of like my FOMO is like weird in in a toxic way of like I'm like, no, I don't want to watch it because everybody watches it, but I do want to watch it, but I don't know if I want to watch it. Like,
I'm
is it
screaming.
that good? Like people love Love Island.
People are,
Like, is
well,
it?
especially apparently this season is the
Yeah.
season that's been getting it. Like, it hasn't gotten as much popularity. Apparently, I've asked
I
friends
feel
about
like it's
this.
like
I
grown.
asked
Like
friends.
every
They said that
season is
more so
just
like the UK versions and stuff had really big audiences and were better and
okay.
more entertaining to watch. This is one
Ah.
of the first times for America that we're getting
Mm-hmm.
some Love Island
Like good
clout,
ones. Okay.
interesting scandal,
Hmm.
Meg the Stallion.
Yeah, I
Like
saw
it's like
that and
they like put money into this season's Love Island. And so that's why my friends were like, typically it's not like this. They were like, we are experiencing like, as you were saying earlier, a renaissance, if you will, for
for
for Love
Love
Island.
Island US.
And I stopped and I was like, here's the thing. If I'm gonna watch it, the only thing I'm going to watch is the Make the Stallion episode. So I
Yeah.
can watch
I mean, that
her
really did
twerk
it.
and
I was like,
because
hold
that
on.
was like everything else when they were like, oh my God, the scandal between this person being sent home and all of this stuff. I was like, cool. But then they showed Make the Stallion and I said, well,
Yeah, hold on now.
should
Hold
I?
on
And I was like,
now.
and this is how marketing works. And it got
Yeah.
me. It got you, it
It's
got
getting
me.
me. It's getting me. And that's my thing is like, am I like, is it on is the marketing is it working though? Like, am I did they do the Netflix like black cover thing with this? I mean, I know there's a lot of black couples in this, and I see a lot of
Mhm.
black people talk about Love Island UK, Love Island, but I'm like, really, should I be? And I want the community, our community, to tell me if I should or if I shouldn't. Like,
Mm.
should I watch this show? Is it important that I watch this show for reality TV
Mhm.
reasons? Like, is this important? Like, should I be a Love Island person? You know? And I just need help with it because I just don't know. I don't know if I could commit to it, but I feel like I should. Like it just,
Mm.
the way people talk about it and love it, I'm just like, should I? No.
I love how I can hear in your voice how much consideration that you've
I'm
taken. And
so
I appreciate that
conflicted.
you're taking this
Yeah,
very
I
seriously.
really
But I
am.
hate how much inner turmoil it's causing you, friend. Like I hate this. I know.
Because they're like having fun outside. It's really that Squidward meme. And that's the way I felt like I saw somebody do that for the New York City primary too, with like just watching New
Yeah.
York have fun. It's that, but it's like again, I can't tell the difference between the UK and the US version. That was a good little tidbit there of like this is the first good US one because I know the
Hmm.
UK one is huge. And that's some of the reason why it's like no offense to the UK, but I was like, I'm okay. Um but now, the Megan, the stallion of it all,
Mm.
like, should I? Like, is now the time?
You know?
So y'all let me know. Y'all comment on these videos and everything. Let me
Yes.
know, should I? Or should I just like, resist the marketing and let y'all have, this? Because I don't have to be in everything. That's
Mhm.
also, part of the conflict. Like, I don't have to be in the mix of every reality TV show, but should I?
Mm.
Hmm. So very important.
These are
Very
these are
important
important
questions.
questions.
Very
These are
important
important questions.
questions.
So
Very
yes.
important.
Thank you for putting
Ooh,
that out to the community.
thank
Community,
you.
thank you for
Thanks for
taking
creating a
the
space for
questions
me to
seriously.
be able to ask
Absolutely.
this.
Friend,
Thank
this
you.
is a safe space. I'm here for you.
I felt it
We're here for each
was.
other.
Thank
Good.
you.
Good. Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
so yes, but to add on to
Much
Chris's
lighter.
earlier statement, good, good. I mean, your shoulders have gone down.
You see it.
You've
You see
you're
it. That's where the
looking
tension is.
you're
It's right
looking
there.
calmer. I know, I see it.
It's right
I
there.
saw it. There
Yeah.
was a lot of stress in there. I can tell that you were
So
taking this
much.
seriously.
So
Yeah.
much. So much
No, I love
stress.
this. I love
Hmm.
this. But to add on to your main point of like, yes, reminder that we don't know these people. These shows are highly edited. That's the whole
Highly
reason
edited.
why they have the gold chalices so that we can't see how their drinks are. But if you sit there and watch previous seasons of when they're eating dinner with people's families, which I still don't understand how they haven't caught on to that, that you could see when the dinner is over, when it's full, what's in between, when they're actively eating. These are highly edited shows. That doesn't mean that not everything is true, but that doesn't mean that truly does not mean that everything is true. So while we recognize this and we see it, we deserve to have these moments where we get to gossip about strangers on television because that is what reality TV is made for. And the
Balance.
queers deserve to have some fun because that's all this is wholesome fun. Y'all stop taking this to another level. Like, how dare you break up with
Yeah.
whoever?
Death
Relax.
threats and harassing
Relax.
folks.
When y'all take it to
Yeah.
that level, no. But fun gossiping to bring all of us together. This is a community building show. Like,
Hmm.
I'm going to be going to watch parties at queer places. My friends and I have already
Mm.
planned where we're going to watch the finale together.
Mm.
Like, it is bringing us together to bond and talk about things in a way that sports does. But now we get to do it
Hmm.
with reality TV. So we get to bring in our other queer friends to talk about it. And you probably get to have deeper conversations about dating, love, red flags, all of the things. And we deserve to have a bit of that.
Hmm. Well said. Such
Thank you.
balance.
Thank you so
Such
much.
balance. Yeah. There was one other point I was going to add on to this, but it's gone now.
Okay. Well, if
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be talking
Hmm.
about the show more often.
We
So
will. Yeah.
tune
I
into
wish I
that.
could think of it. I know it was reality TV show related, but
Mm,
it's okay. You'll come
all right.
back.
Okay.
It's all
Well,
good.
in the meantime, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But you know, we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to Kismet Pride, the International Pride Weekend for Black queer folks. It's happening in Tulum, August 8th to 11th. Some key people that will be in attendance. Our one and only favorite, Bad Queers fam, Jade Fox. Jerry Johnson's going to be there. SK Mylan are going to be there. Mal from The Ultimatum, go figure, is going to be there. And so much more Black queer excellence. They're going to have activities, rest, parties, connection, all
It
at
looks
a
very
beautiful
fun.
resort. It looks very fun. I may end up buying a last minute ticket and going. We'll
You
see.
should
I
get somebody
might,
on the ground, boots
you
on the
know,
ground, flip
could be
flops on the
boots on the
ground.
ground. Why not?
Um,
So you can follow and support at Kismet Pride, and you can go check out the website. They still have rooms open and available and things. So go get your pride on at Kismet Pride.
that's really cool. My shout out is to an internet personality known as Bittnia. Nia on YouTube and IG. They have a great podcast. Well, Nia is her name. Great podcast called Glass Closet. But my YouTube algorithms introduced me to her, the internet's Evilest Lesbians
Oh, I love that.
series. I know where
I love that.
it's so good, where she revisits allegations. I mean, these are serious allegations of abuse in lesbian relationships from like big time TikTok, YouTube, or just internet lesbian couples
Ooh.
in relationships that didn't unfold in silence, but went viral and then we moved on from. So
Hmm.
she's like circling back to these internet
She
personalities
said,
so
let
you
us not
can,
forget.
yes. So follow and support Bittnia, Bittnia on YouTube and on IG. So I was like, ooh,
All
what a
right.
good
That's
series.
amazing.
Yeah.
The evilest
Yeah.
lesbians, honestly.
The internet's evilest lesbians. I was like,
Look
ooh,
at that.
thank you, YouTube. I
Love
will be
that.
watching and
You just said, thank you,
subscribing.
algorithm, for finally getting
Yeah.
it right.
Sometimes they do it. Sometimes they do it. So other times it's like
Wow.
I clicked like one time. Now you are sending me bullshit. So yeah, sometimes the algorithms are great. So shout out to Nia for this because quite a series.
Love that. Well, what a great way to end the show.
Mm.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
It's me again. Can we talk about things? I'm